The theater was quiet long before the lights came on. It was the kind of quiet that felt heavy, like everyone was holding their breath without realizing it. The wide stage stood empty, shining softly under pale blue lights. Rows of seats curved around it, filled with people who had come with excitement but now waited in calm silence. Cameras rested in place. Judges sat still behind their table. Simon Cowell leaned back in his chair, arms crossed, his face calm but tired from a long day of auditions. Backstage, a small Filipino boy stood alone near a wall. His name did not appear on any bright screen yet. He was short for his age, thin, with worn shoes that were a little too big for his feet. His hands were folded together, fingers shaking slightly. He closed his eyes and breathed slowly, just like his mother had taught him. In his pocket, he carried a small piece of paper with words written on it. It was not a song. It was a reminder. It said, "Sing from your heart. God is listening." His life had never been easy. He came from a small town where homes were close together and roofs were made of rusted metal. When it rained, water dripped inside their house. When the sun burned hot, the air felt heavy and still. His father had passed away when he was very young, leaving his mother to care for him and his younger sister alone. His mother worked long hours washing clothes for other people. Some days, there was enough food. Some days, there was not. Music had become his safe place. He sang while walking to school. He sang while helping his mother carry water. He sang at night when the lights went out and the world felt too quiet. His voice was not trained. He had never taken lessons. But his voice carried something real. It carried his days, his worries, and his hope. When his name was finally called, he jumped slightly. His heart began to beat fast. He took one step forward, then another. Each step toward the stage felt heavy, as if the floor itself was asking him if he was ready. The bright lights hit his eyes as he walked out. The audience clapped gently, not loudly yet, just enough to welcome him. He stood at the center of the stage, small under the tall lights. He looked toward the judges. Simon Cowell watched him closely. Simon had seen many young singers before. Some were confident, some were nervous, but this boy carried a different kind of stillness. It was not fear alone. It was something deeper. The boy introduced himself in a soft voice. His accent was gentle. His hands stayed close to his body. He spoke about his family, about his mother watching from home, about how music helped him feel strong even when life felt hard. The room stayed quiet. No one interrupted. Even Simon Cowell leaned forward slightly. When asked why he came to the stage, the boy paused. He swallowed and looked down. Then he looked up again. He said he wanted to give his mother a better life. He wanted her to rest someday. His voice did not shake when he said it. It sounded simple and honest. The music began slowly, just a few soft notes. The boy closed his eyes. For a moment, it felt like the theater disappeared. His shoulders relaxed. When he opened his mouth to sing, the sound that came out was clear and warm. It was not loud. It did not rush. It flowed gently, like a quiet river. His voice filled the space between the seats. Each word landed softly. He sang about pain, but without anger. He sang about loss, but without fear. There was hope in every note, like light finding its way through a crack in the dark. The audience leaned in. Some held their hands together. Others wiped their eyes without knowing why. Simon Cowell did not move. His eyes stayed fixed on the boy. The longer the song continued, the more his expression changed. His usual guarded look softened. His lips pressed together. He blinked slowly. The boy reached the middle of the song, where the words grew deeper. He sang about carrying weight too heavy for a child. He sang about nights when hunger made sleep hard. His voice grew stronger, not louder, but fuller. It carried truth. The audience felt it. You could feel the shift in the room. The air seemed thicker, warmer. The boy was no longer just performing. He was sharing his life, one line at a time. As the song moved toward its final part, the music became quieter again. The boy's voice trembled slightly, not from fear, but from feeling. He opened his eyes and looked forward. For a brief moment, his gaze met Simon Cowell's. Simon Cowell's eyes were shining. He did not look away. The last note hung in the air. The boy lowered his head. Silence followed. It lasted longer than expected. Then one person stood up. Then another. Soon, the entire audience rose to their feet. Applause filled the theater, loud and full. It rolled over the stage like a wave. The boy looked surprised. His eyes widened. He did not move at first. He stood frozen, trying to understand what was happening. Tears filled his eyes, but he did not wipe them away. Simon Cowell stood up as well. Slowly. He clapped, but not loudly. His face showed emotion he rarely showed on stage. He took a deep breath and reached for the golden buzzer. The moment felt unreal. The boy watched as Simon Cowell pressed it. Golden confetti burst into the air, falling like warm light from above. The audience cheered louder. The boy covered his mouth with his hands. Tears streamed down his face freely now. He dropped to his knees, overwhelmed. The sound, the lights, the gold falling around him felt like a dream. He whispered words of thanks under his breath. He thought of his mother. He imagined her watching, crying, smiling, proud. Simon Cowell walked onto the stage. He placed a hand on the boy's shoulder. His voice, when he spoke, was gentle. He said he had seen many performances, but this one came from a place that could not be taught. He said the boy reminded everyone why music mattered. The boy nodded, unable to speak. He hugged Simon Cowell briefly, carefully, as if afraid to break the moment. As the applause slowly faded, the boy stood again. He wiped his face and looked around. The theater no longer felt scary. It felt warm, like a place that had opened its arms to him. Back home, his mother watched the screen through tears. Neighbors gathered around. They hugged each other. His small town felt bigger that night, filled with pride and hope. The boy's life did not change in 1 second. He still came from the same place. He still carried the same memories. But something inside him had shifted. He now knew his voice mattered. His story mattered. When he left the stage, he walked slowly, carefully, as if holding on to the moment. The golden confetti stuck to his shoes. He smiled softly, knowing that no matter what came next, this night would stay with him forever. And for Simon Cowell, the performance stayed too. It reminded him that even after all the years, a single honest voice could still reach his heart.